Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Julie, and with the help of my husband Justin, we are full-time resellers. So in today's video, I am going to show you everything that's sold in a 1-week time frame. So from March 10th to March 16th, this is everything that's sold for us on Poshmark and eBay. Now you will see that we sold a lot of auction items. Now, this doesn't mean that we sold them in an auction. I mean items that we purchased from an auction. In our last video, if you didn't watch it, you should go back and watch it. It was a good video. We purchased a bunch of stuff at an auction and I got it all listed, and this is the stuff selling. So I will tell you how much we made on the item, and then I will say minus cost of goods. At the end of the video, I will break it down and tell you exactly what profits we've made on the auction stuff.
These two 25-pound weight plates sold on an offer for $35. Justin just listed a bunch of really old, rusty, not very valuable weight plates, just trying to move some pieces that he had in the garage that he didn't really know what else to do with. So they ended up costing us probably around $15 to buy, so we made an $11.08 profit on them, which is a very small profit for weights, but as I said, these were not desirable. Justin picked up this International Concepts. It was like a silky plus size blouse. Well, he picked it up because he thought it was plus size. He thought XXL was the same as 2X. I explained to him it wasn't. I said that I personally probably would not have picked this up, but I guessed it would probably sell quickly because he always has good luck. So he only paid 59 cents for it. It sold within a month and we made $16.52 profit. This Evel Knievel action figure was in the lot and it was in pretty rough shape, but it sold within, like, I would say a minute and a half of me listing it. There was others listed for less than mine. My guess is maybe they didn't have the belt and that's where the value lied. Not really sure. So we made a $15.40 profit before cost of goods. This Kellogg's Corn Flakes hood replica, it was pretty large size. It was a pain to ship, but luckily I found a box pretty quickly that I was able to resize to use for it. I bought it at the auction, and originally I was thinking that it would sell for like $55 because that was the last one that had sold. That was how much it sold for. But then just a couple days before I listed mine, someone listed one for $199. So that opened the door for me to list mine for a little bit more. I ended up getting an offer sent to me for $75 and I accepted really quickly, and we made a $56.71 profit before cost of goods. This Aaron Craft sweater was also bought at the auction. Are you noticing a theme? It was 100% merino wool. It was new without tags. It sold for $60 and we made a $50.75 profit before cost of goods. This Simply Vera Wang, they were like linen drawstring pants, new with tags, XXL size. I paid $2.11 for them at the bins. They sold on an offer for $22.99 and we made a $16.53 profit. These Hey Dudes were a bins find and they were super clean, which is the only reason why I picked them up, because Hey Dudes resale value has really plummeted, but they sold for full price of $21.99. We paid $1.37 for them and we made a $13.91 profit. We showed these Vivo barefoot shoes in our last video. I actually thought they were men's, but they weren't. They were women's. We paid $2.69 for them at the bins. They sold on an offer for $64 and we made a $46.65 profit very quickly. This anime cosplay costume, I bought it ages ago and I just kept putting off listing it because it had a bunch of flaws that I didn't notice when I bought it. I paid $1.76 for it at the bins. It sold for $19.99 and we made a $13.56 profit. This group of National Lampoon magazines were also in the auction lots. These ones weren't worth that much, so I listed them all in a grouping together. They ended up selling on an offer for $28 and we made a $20.01 profit before cost of goods. These two 10-pound weight plates were more of like the cheaper plates that Justin's been trying to clear out. We paid $6 for them. They sold for $17.99 on an offer and we made a $7.93 profit. This vintage Polly Pockets I found at the bins. It's from 1993. It does not have any people, and most of the time they don't have much value when there isn't the little figures, but it lit up and it actually still worked, which is why I grabbed it. I paid $1.38 for it, and it sold for $35, and we made a $25.15 profit. These women's jockey underwear, I bought, I think, 4 packages total. This is the second one to sell. At the bins, we paid 75 cents for them. It sold on an offer for $15, and we made a $10.25 profit. We were at the bins the other day, and Justin found some cast iron items on Facebook Marketplace for sale. So it was this muffin popover pan plus a Griswold waffle iron some pieces of them. And so he made an offer for both of them for $60. And the woman accepted, and she had tons of other cast iron listed, but all very overpriced, the other pieces. Well, when we went to her house, she said he was the only person that had responded in 5 days. So she gave him all the pieces of cast iron she had listed. So that was amazing. I haven't even gotten it all listed, but technically he paid $50 for the waffle iron pieces and $10 for this. So I did a $10 buy cost. It sold for $49.99 and we made a $28.38 profit. The same person bought 2 sets of silverware. This J.A. Henkel's Manor is the pattern. They bought 2 salad forks and then also a set of 3 salad forks. We paid 82 cents total at the bins for all of these. They sold for $19.99 and $16.99, and our total profit was $29.81. Anytime we find silverware, we always look on the back to see if it has a name or a maker on it, and Google Lens is a big help to figure out the pattern, because some silverware can bring big money. And I'm not just talking about like plated silverware, I'm talking about everyday silverware. Another auction item, and guys, this one really surprised me. Big Jim action figures, never heard of them. I only figured out what they were because of Google Lens, but as you can see, this man's lost his head. This one has marker all down him. The arms are discolored. I only have 3 pieces of clothing, and they still sold for $74.99, minus the 5% discount when someone buys something for full price. So before cost of goods, we made a $60.19 profit. This National Lampoon magazine was also part of the auction lot. This was one of the ones that was worth more to sell separately. It sold for full price of $24.99, and we made a $17.83 profit before cost of goods. I got this Lennox vintage, they were like jeweled Christmas ornament set for free and a group of free pickup things. And it was so absolutely easy to list that even though I knew it wouldn't bring a lot of money, I was like, oh, I'm just going to list it. So it sold for full price and we made a $5.51 profit. These Mattel Barbie We Three Friends dolls, I had never really heard of them. I found them in a regular Goodwill for $4. I looked them up and they seemed to have decent comps. It did take them a while to sell, but they sold for $34.99. As I said, I paid $4 and we made a $21.43 profit. These Zero Exposure, they were youth size XL snow pants. I only grabbed them because A, they were new, and B, they were only 99 cents. But we have had them for a while, so they're on the 30% off sale. I accepted a $15 offer and we made a $9.48 profit. This adorable Peanuts Franken Snoopy, it's a Hallmark Halloween decoration. So cute. He, let me see if I can get him to play. So he howls and walks and dances. This item is definitely a bolo. Mine was worth more money, I guess I would say, because it still had the tag attached. But he sold for $50.99. We paid $1.85 at the bins, and we made a $40.38 profit. Lauren Ralph Lauren sweater. This was part of the big Talbot's lot of plus size clothes I bought, was that 2 Sundays ago at the bins? I bought, I think, 2 or 3 Lauren Ralph Lauren pieces that were owned by the same person. They were the exact same sizes, and this was one of them. And when I looked up the cable knit, like full zip plus size sweaters, it definitely had a lot of value to it. So we paid $2.84, sold for $34.99. We made a $22.28 profit. This is another item I've had for a while, but I did buy it during the off season. It's a Columbia Omni Freeze, like kind of like a summer dress, but it was new with tags and it was plus size. I got it on a 99-cent day, sold for $28.04, and we made a $20.14 profit. And these 2.5 pound standard weight plates sold for $14.99. After cost of goods, we made a $9.60 profit. These Kelly and Katie Dartmouth Espadrille wedge sandals, my mom gave them to me. I tried them on because I wear like a 9.5 and they were too big for me. I'm assuming they were too wide for her because she has a very narrow foot, and these were mediums, but they were barely worn. They ended up selling for $20, and we made a $13.63 profit. This Disney Pixar car, his name was Slick. We have sold tons of these Pixar cars. We bought a huge lot of them at the bins. We only have maybe one left after this one. We paid 21 cents for it, sold on an offer for $16.14. We made a $12.39 profit. I did talk about this in the last video, meaning that I showed these and then I put on the screen that they had just sold, but it was kind of quick, so I figured I would talk about it now. Again, these Williams-Sonoma mugs, they sold within like 4 minutes of me listing them. We picked up 4 of them at the bins for $2.96. They sold for full price of $54.99, and we made a $35.75 profit. Bought a few pieces of a KitchenAid food processor to part out, and obviously this was the blade. We paid 78 cents for it. It sold for $21.99, and we made a $13.05 profit. I also showed this all-clad pan in the previous video and put at the bottom of the screen that it sold very quickly. I listed it for $169.99, sold very, very quickly, probably within like an hour, maybe even that, I can't remember. We paid $15 for it off of Facebook Marketplace, and we made a $118.98 profit. This Talbot's green wool jacket, I was so excited that it sold. I said that it would make the most perfect jacket for St. Patrick's Day. It was part of the big Talbot's lot that we picked up 2 Sundays ago. We paid $2.84 for it, sold on an offer for $48. We made a $37.39 profit. We found this U-Haul hat at the bins, and it was brand new, and we actually found 4 of them total, so that was nice. Anytime you can take one picture and do one listing and sell multiple items, that's great. So it ended up selling for full price of $21.99. We only paid 35 cents, and we made a $15.64 profit. These 2 10-pound Olympic size weight plates sold for $27 on an offer. We had $6 into them, and we made a $13.28 profit. This Marks was the brand, and they were Johnny West, like Best of the West action figures. You'll see a couple in a row here. Were part, of course, the auction doll lot. I didn't realize that they had that much value when I bought the dolls, but I was pleasantly surprised. So this one is Sam Cobra, and I spent so much time researching to find, what pieces of accessories I had to go with each action figure, because I just had a huge box full. But he sold for $39.99, and we made a $29.46 profit before cost of goods. And this is another one from the same series. He's Zeb Zachary. He sold for $56.99, and he obviously had a lot of accessories, so that was great. And then the third one to sell, and these were all by different people, was Captain Maddox. He sold on an offer for $40, and we made a $33.27 profit on him. And these Robin jeans, I found these at the bins. They had a retail price of, how much was it? I can't remember. It was high. Maybe it's not on here. Maybe I had just looked them up. I don't know. They went for a couple $100s. I had them listed originally, I think, for like $99. I kept dropping the price. They kept ending up in sales. We paid $2.94 for them. I eventually sold them for $30, and we made a $21.59 profit, and I definitely will not be picking this brand up again. I picked up 4 of these really pretty table runners. I got them at Home Goods, probably it was a little over a year ago. They after Christmas they clearanced all their Halloween stuff by like 90%. So I ended up paying $2.35 for this. It sold for $16.14, and we made an $8.90 profit. And as you can see, I still have 3 left of them, so probably wasn't the best buy. These 4 5-pound Olympic weight plates sold for $21.99. We had $6 into them, and we made a $10.39 profit. This Talbot's, it was a plus size 2X. It was just kind of a plain navy blue shirt, but it had eyelet sleeves on it. Justin picked this up on a solo bins trip. We paid 92 cents for it by weight, sold for $18.99, and we made a $13.01 profit. This Temptations cow creamer is from either QVC or Home Shopping Network. I've sold numerous Temptation pieces. Not all of them are worth picking up, but we only paid 74 cents for him at the bins. He sold for full price of $18.99, and we made a $12.05 profit. The best of QED cookbooks. I talk about this all the time, that these are cookbooks from our local PBS station, and I love selling them. This one sold for full price of $19.99, and I paid 71 cents for it. These Rothy's were a great bins find. We paid only $1.13 for them. I ended up accepting an offer of $42. They had been listed for a while, and I guess I need to be more realistic about how much the price of Rothy's has fallen. So we still made a $31.51 profit. These 2 10-pound weight plates sold for $21.59, and our profit was $10.06. Sold this action figure, Star Wars 1978 Stormtrooper, from the auction lot. Sold for $27.99, and we made a $20.98 profit before cost of goods. These 4 2.5 Olympic size weight plates sold for $19.99. After cost of goods, $12.76 profit. These Dungeons and Dragon figures were from the auction. They sold on an offer for $35. And before cost of goods, we made a $26.56 profit. This Vanity Fair, it was a reversible, kind of like a shaper camisole. Justin picked it up on a solo trip to the bins. It cost 22 cents. We only got it because it was new with tags. It sold for $18.99, and we made a $13.49 profit. This Talbot's dress was new with tags, and it was part of the big Talbot's lot that we bought 2 Sundays ago. It was the only not wintry item in the lot. I listed it for $49.99, and it ended up selling on an offer for $38. We had $2.84 into it, and we made a $28.89 profit. The Fawns from Happy Days figure was part of the auction doll lot. He, as you can see, had issues. He was missing a shoe, and his leg was broken off. But I still listed him. I have one in perfect condition listed also. But he ended up selling on an offer for $10. And before cost of goods, we made a $7.60 profit. This Ann Taylor, it was a lace overlay camisole. Only picked it up because it was new, and we found it at the bin, so we only paid 42 cents for it. Sold for $18.99, and we made a $12.96 profit. We sold 2 25-pound pancake style weight plates made in the USA on an offer for $51. We had about $15 into them, and we made a $25.54 profit. This Adriana Papel shirt, I am so glad to sell this because it was the second oldest clothing piece in my entire inventory. I just redid my lowest sale, or the oldest items with the highest percentage off. I changed it from 50 to 60% off. Of course, someone still had to send me an offer because I swear people can't buy anything for full price, but I paid 99 cents for it. It sold for $7, and we made a $4.09 profit. This Maidenform bra was brand new with tags. We picked it up the bins for only 43 cents. It sold for $19.99, and we made a $13.46 profit. Justin sold this lot of 6 standard barbell collars. They were York brand. When he buys big lots of weights, collars get thrown in. So we don't put any buy cost on them. They're kind of like a throw-in with the weights that he purchases. So these sold for $24.99, and we made a $20.01 profit. More silverware, these Oneida Joanne. I did a 20-piece place setting, so service for 4. We purchased these at the bins. We paid $4.95 by weight. They sold on an offer for $45 and we made a $30.09 profit. And another old clothing item, I think this was the fourth or fifth oldest clothing item in my inventory, is this Nuatag Sonoma plus size dress. I only bought it because it was plus size and Nuatags, but obviously it was not a good purchase. I paid $1.46 for it at the bins. It sold for $8.80 and I made a $4.27 profit. This vintage Jodel hexagon cast iron pan, it seemed to be for like muffins, biscuits. It was made in Norway. This was a freebie that got thrown in when we bought the cast iron lot. So I did not assign a buy clause to this. I did it to the items we actually paid for. It sold on an offer for $18.99 and we made a $14.29 profit. And our last item to sell this week was this another clearance item, this R&K original shift dress. This was in my 35% off clearance, but as usual, they sent a much lower offer of $12.50, which I gladly accepted because I'm trying to move this stuff. I paid 99 cents for it and we made an $8.38 profit. This was a new to me brand, EP New York. It was a golf performance skirt. It had a retail price of $96 and it was brand new, but we've had it listed forever. So I finally sold for $29. We paid $1.01 for it. We made a $22.19 profit. This Talbots, it was just an open front short sleeve linen blend cardigan sweater plus size. It sold for $20. We paid $1.65 for it at the bins and we made a $14.35 profit. This was a very nice Duluth Trading Company raincoat. It was called a downpour duster. We purchased it at the bins for $3.93. It sold for $55 and we made a $40.07 profit. I showed these no bull shoes in our last video. We picked them up last Sunday at the Goodwill outlet. We paid $2.71 for them. They sold for $35 and we made a $25.29 profit. And I've had this vintage Hillmore New York faux fur coat listed forever. I had it listed for way higher than this. So when someone liked it on Poshmark, I immediately sent out a $19 offer hoping that they would take the bait and buy it. I paid only 99 cents for it. It ended up selling for a $14.21 profit.
So I gave a rough count. I might not be perfect, but it seems like we sold around like 62 items. According to eBay, our average sales price was $42.11, but they also include shipping and maybe even fees in that number, so that doesn't really tell you much. But last year at this time, our average sale prices were only in like the mid 30s. So we're trying to source better items now and bring our numbers up. But of course, I'm still selling off tons of the old clothing items that I purchased, in the last year and a half. And I'm just trying to clearance those out, with my new being very picky opinion about like what I'm going to pick up and purchase. All right. So let's talk about the auction stuff in detail. So we spent $266.80 on everything we bought at the auction, and there's tons of stuff that haven't sold yet. So if you subtract the profits we've made so far minus the $266.80 that we spent, we've made $114.34 profit on the things we've sold so far. But if you want to break it down by category, I can give you an idea. The merino wool sweater, we made a $37.55 profit. Our cost of goods on that sweater was $13.20. The plastic Kellogg's hood, we paid $7 for a total, and we made a $49.71 profit. Now, there's other lots that we've sold pieces from, but not everything. So the doll lot, we paid $162.87 once you added in tax and buyer's fees. So right now we're at a $46.71 profit on that. The Dungeons and Dragons pieces, we're at a $10.24 profit with what we've sold so far. And the National Lampoon magazines were at a $22.68 profit for what we've sold so far. So yeah, that just gives you a small breakdown of the auction stuff. Hopefully more of it will continue to sell. I'm really pleased with the dolls. The action figures. I keep calling them dolls. They sold so fast. I still have the big lot of the $6 million man. I put them all together. I'll give it a little bit more time. If they don't sell, I'll probably break it into smaller lots because there was numerous dolls. Maybe no one wants to drop that much money all at one time. And we're going back to the auction house later today to pick up this week's order. So busy, busy, busy. I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.